Well, speaking of an issue that we look forward to it being sorted, it's the planned NSAS protest and the counter protest, which has been scheduled for this weekend. If you're active on social media, then you may have seen the trends ongoing. It's as a result of what happened last weekend when the panel of inquiry in Lagos, granted the repossession of the Lekki toll plaza to LCC. Of course, some members of the panel and a larger, member of society or members of society said, well, we're not having it. And then that spiraled into a planned protest, another counter protest, and it's been back and forth, really. So this morning, we're taking a look at the issues. Don't forget, a member of the panel, a prominent member, Mr. Ebolo Adeburo, a senior advocate of Nigeria, has appealed to the protesters to shelve that planned protest, and he gave some reasons. But still, how well is that sitting with the advocates of NSAS? So this morning we're being joined by Mr. Tosin Olugbenga, who is an NSAS advocate. He joins us from our Lagos studio. Good morning, and thank you for joining us on the program.
Morning.
Now, for a lot of Nigerians, today is the 10th, the 13th is on Saturday. They're wondering, where are we now? What are the demands this time around? And how have you taken on board that appeal by the senior advocate of Nigeria?
Well, first of all, I want to say that the NSAS protest is actually beyond just a protest. It is now a movement that came about, and like you said, it is not actually the general public that is actually pushing for the NSAS. It is the young populace of Nigeria, most of who are actually active online. So one, these young people, they are already emotionally attached to the NSAS protest. So when it comes to their emotions, it means whatever they want to say per time, they are speaking with respect to their emotions. So we are already attached to that particular protest, and anything that comes out from whether the panel or the government in a way to, to subdue that protest or make it look in vain, we always have a counter effect. All right. So during the course of the panel have voted that the Lekki toll gate is supposed to open, and these young people felt very uncomfortable with that decision. That people actually died during the course of this protest, especially at the Lekki toll gate, and this actually generated global attention about what happened that October 29th. So when the panel voted, the panel is known by the law. All right, and that is where we have to draw the lines. The panel is known by the law, and being young people, the way they react to such things is to, we have to do something. And that is what brought about the Occupy Lekki toll gate planned protest. And, the way online things work is this: when somebody just put up any graphic design, any hashtag, nobody actually knew where the hashtag originated from. The moment it is out there, because of the emotion that is already attached to it, you want to open the toll gate, you want to step on the blood of those that are killed, and everybody just take it up and everybody keeps pushing. So that is how, it goes. But if you look at it the other way around, the panel is known to the law. And there was, it was actually, the opening of the toll gate is a reflection of the voting that happened on the panel. So there was a vote. Those who voted for the reopening of the toll gates are more than those who voted against it. So, and by the law, that is what should stand. So now, will the toll gates continue to be closed forever? Some people have the opinion that you cannot close the toll gate forever. Even in international communities globally, if there is a sin crime, it doesn't mean that sin is going to be closed forever. So that was what brought about that protest, that planned protest. Now, on the other hand, the counter protest, those individuals, okay, before I leave, by the virtue of the law that established the panel, that voting decision stands. And there is nothing anybody can do about it unless there is another procedure to either appeal that particular decision or... So the response is actually a protest. And if you go by the law, protest is also the right of the people. So like an individual, I can decide to protest every day if I think something is not right. So it is also the right of those who want to engage in protest to protest. Now, to the side of those who are countering the protest, that is actually a distraction to those who are planning the end SARS the occupied Lekki toll gate protest is actually a counter and a distraction. Because if you watch the trend online, there are some ethnic dimensions already to that counter effect that, wow, you want to destroy Lagos again? You have destroyed Lagos in your NSAS initial protest. And these people have failed to also put a line between the fact that those of us who actually engage in the NSAS protest, we are so much intelligent beyond destroying properties of the Lagos state government as seen by hoodlums. It is not NSAS protesters that destroyed Lagos state property as it is. So the Defend Lagos side of the story, they also have right to also say we want to also protest against your protest. And this is what will eventually happen. The police would come to the venue of the planned protest for the both of them on Saturday to make sure there is no protest that is going to happen, because they don't want any clash between those who are in for Occupy Lekki toll gates and those who are in for Defend Lagos. And when that happens, of course, naturally, that planned protest will actually die. So that is actually the fact of the matter.
Well, a good number of issues that you have raised, but perhaps the one thing that a number of people may want to find out, what exactly is the objective? You said it yourself now that you can't shut down a crime scene permanently. So now that this panel that, as you say, is known to the law, has said it's okay for the toll gates to resume business as usual, what is the objective of this Occupy Lekki toll gate protests?
Okay, so like I said initially, the Occupy Lekki toll gate protest is not as if it is a planned protest. It is a response. It is an emotional response by some group of people, which probably there is no meeting or any group coming together to say, oh, this is what we want to do. So it is an emotional response to that decision to reopen, the toll gate. And there are popular individuals, that I will not want to mention their names, who have it on their Twitter timeline, and when such popular individuals push out things like that, the followers would want to also tend towards that, and they will also make such posts go viral. So to those who actually plan the Occupy Lekki toll gate, I don't really know what their objective is, but from the analysis from the timeline, you would know it is a reflection of the fact that they don't want that toll gate to be opened now until maybe the investigation is completed. So members of the panel, like my good friend Rino said, investigation to what happened is not yet complete. Some other members of the panel also said it has been completed. So it all depends on which side the people want to follow with respect to that. So with respect to the objective, they are of the opinion that they should complete the investigation. Maybe to them, the panel sitting stands for investigation. So maybe they should complete the panel sitting, and there should be a final decision on all of this before they will say, let us open the Lekki toll gate.
So what about you? What do you want to say happened on Saturday?
This coming Saturday?
Yep.
Well, for me personally, I would, after the NSAS protest, I really felt bad when I drove down to Bega and I saw the buses that were burnt down. I had to park and, take reflections. And for me, I would just tell people, like, as much as it is your right to protest, we have to, come to some point of being reasonable, to look for more reasonable options to actually address these very critical issues. So, and for us to avoid loss of lives and property, we can actually fight, stop fighting, suspend the fight for another day.
Right. And like you said, I mean, the real protesters are too intelligent to destroy public property. So, I mean, clearly, the protesters, like you said, have a right. And don't forget what Mr. Adegberua said, also appealing to security agencies to embrace caution and demonstrate utmost respect for the fundamental rights of citizens. But I'd like to thank you so much, Mr. Tosin Olugbenga, for at least sharing your thoughts with us and shedding more light on these protests and counter-protests on Saturday. We appreciate you.
Thank you, sir.